See, I knew I shouldn't have had him do the introduction. That caught me off guard. For those of you guys who don't know this, when Brian had called me to tell me the news, I was very flattered. I asked Layla if she would kind of help me lay everything out. And unbeknownst to me, 70 people from corporate decided to come down and visit with us. But what I didn't know until I got here tonight, that over 50 of my franchisees from across the country got on planes, got in cars, and drove up here. I love you guys. You're the best people in the world. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. It's all in a big rouge to make me cry, and I'm not going to cry. I'm going to cry probably just a little bit. Just a little bit. Just enough to... Well, anyway. Now, listen, one thing Ed did say that I had 8 minutes to talk, and someone told me I had 4. So is that a combined of 12? Is that what that is? Because 4 from you guys and 8 from him, because I got a solid 20 minutes. And then I'd like to sing a song. I want to do Sinatra's My Way, and I want to do it twice. I want to do it with accompaniment, and then I want to do it a cappella, if anybody's... and I'm not much of a singer, but... You'll get the emotion. I think that's what you're really going to get. Why did I let Ed Reynolds introduce me? I don't know. It took half my material. I'm blown away. I tell you what I will do. I will work hard to make sure that Ed never gets into the Kentucky Entrepreneurs Hall of Fame. That's it. I'm blown away. I was so flattered. I was caught off guard. I was honored when Brian, you called, and I'm a very skeptical person, and I thought, how much is this going to cost me? And it wasn't about that at all. It was a recognition from people that nominated and people that in the past inductees that have voted, and I'm just blown away, and I'm so touched by this opportunity and this recognition. It's beyond anything I can imagine. But I wanted to kind of thank people, and I wanted to do it in a little untraditional way, because I do think it's been said many times that people are just an aggregate of the influence of the people in their lives. And it's so true. It's unbelievably true. My friends, 70 of my friends are here tonight, and they are some of the most brilliant people I've ever worked with and been friends with. It is incredible. However, over the past 5 to 10 years, I have realized that I might not be the smartest guy in the world. And so if I'm not the smartest guy and I'm thinking you guys are brilliant, it might be that you guys aren't really that smart. So it might be that we're just a bunch of dummies driving around selling sugar to children. And that's a very good possibility. But then I thought, when I saw them all down here and they all got on a bus and drove down here, I had this other epiphany. And I'm going to ask Susan, our HR director, is everybody on the clock? Okay, yes. Everybody is still on the clock. So who's the dummies now? Because by applause, if you're getting paid to be here right now, let me hear about it. What do I tell you? Brilliant people. I get the opportunity of working with them. My family is here tonight. I was blown away. I came in, my family I grew up with, my 2 brothers are here. My brothers, who are great guys, and I'm going to tell you this, who, when we grew up in West Virginia, they were nurturing and loving and supportive. They were not. They were none of that. They were brutal, abusive. They called me names. They had nicknames I can't even repeat. The only one they called me was Nipper, and that's the only one I can say. But their birthdays happened right after Brian had called me, and I did not call them on their birthdays. I didn't call them. I didn't text them. Nothing, because I knew on my birthday they'd be sitting at that table right there, looking up at old Nipper. And my sister's here. My sister, who I love dearly. She's just the absolute greatest person in the world. We dated briefly in high school, but then we all moved to Kentucky, and you guys have got rules against things like that. But it's fantastic. My mom and dad are here. My little mother. My mother's like 4'8" with heels, And she's just this powerhouse woman. We're launching a new brand called Beverly Ann's Cookies. It's warm cookies and ice cream. That's coming next on the agenda. The Travelin Tom's is named after my dad. But my mom was this unbelievable, supportive person in my life. And it reminded me of one time when I was in high school, I got caught for forging my absentee list. And the principal called me in the office and he said, hey, Tony, we've caught you forging your absentee list and we're going to have to suspend you and we're going to call your parents. And I was like, well, all right, I understand. And so they got on the phone and they called. He said, my mom answered the phone. I remember my mom. And Beverly, this is Bill Strader down here at Parkersburg High School. And we'd like to let you know that we caught Tony forging his absentee slips. And she said, yes, I'm aware. And I was sitting on the other side of the table, and I was like, well, that's an interesting response. And he said, well, we're going to be suspending him from school. And she said, yeah, I don't think so. And I went, and they end up getting into a verbal battle, and I did not get suspended from school, and I think I got an A. And said something. My mom was a powerhouse of support. She backed me no matter what. I could do no wrong. My dad is the serial entrepreneur. He was a vacuum cleaner salesman his whole life growing up. I had such a weird, skewed vision of life. My dad drove probably the finest car in town. We lived in a beautiful house. My buddies in school would say, their dads are doctors or lawyers or bankers, and they would say, what does your dad do? And I was like, he's a vacuum cleaner salesman. What does your dad do? And he goes, my dad's the president of the bank. And I was like, and he drives an Oldsmobile. Remind me not to major in bank presidency when I go to college. That's my life growing up. I aspired to be a vacuum cleaner salesman. And this is the life that I had. It was amazing. My family, my kids are here. All my kids are here. And they're hilarious. And they're smart. More hilarious than smart. They're great kids. They're absolutely, come on, they are the funniest kids. But we've gone to this place in our lives now. Now, when we sit down at family dinner on Tuesday nights, they're all out of the house and they come back for family dinner and we sit down and I find myself becoming the butt of every joke. And I'm like, oh, this is where we've gone in life. They're tremendous kids. They work hard. They do an amazing job. And as everybody has said, I've got my wife of 31 years who has done everything. Unbelievable. But Susie has backed every hairball idea I've ever had. She would support me unconditionally except for one thing. She said, you have to work outside the home. She said, you cannot work from a home office. And I was like, well, why is that? She said, because you drive me crazy. So I will support you unconditionally. Get out of the house. And it inspired me to get an office building. And we started Kona Ice. She said, you just got to go out. And that was good inspiration. But she's been my buddy. She's been my amigo, my partner in crime. We've done everything together. And I'm not going to cry. And she's just always been there. And it's been really remarkable. So you're an aggregate of the people and the influences in your life. And if you hear those stories and you think about these incredible people that I get to work with, that franchise from Kona, that are my teammates, and you look at my family and you look at I would feel all that support. I think, and when I thought about this, I would feel less. I would be embarrassed if I wasn't standing in front of you here today. Because with that kind of support system, with that kind of team, with that kind of things, it is incredible. You should achieve this. You should be able to sell 1,700 franchises and keep building and growing and build a great company because of the people that are in my life. And I'm so grateful for that. And last thing, I want to promise you, beyond the shadow of a doubt, under no circumstances will Ed Reynolds ever be inducted into the Kentucky Hall of Fame. And I'm saying that as a joke because if it wasn't for Ed Reynolds, I would not be standing here today. Well, actually, I probably would be standing here, but it wouldn't be. Ed backed me in the beginning. Ed supported me. Ed he still edifies me to the unbelievable degree. He is the personification, the definition of a true friend. And I love you, buddy. So thank you guys so much. Let's leave.